Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of FPL Scoop here on Footywit. It's been a tough preparation to the season, and this season seems to going to be the hardest so far to start with. So I'm Silas Toma, and I'm joined with Michael Sunday. So Michael, say hi. What do you think of the season? How do you feel you're going to start with the season?
Yeah, the season is already is very very quiet near now. Like I think it's tomorrow, so there's nothing like to be deliberating. We're supposed to have finished making our plans by now. I don't think there should still be any okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. They just go straight to the point and revisit all your draft and your player performance. I think that's just
Yeah.
the way to go for now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so we'll just go through some major topics that will help our audience make better decisions this just between today and tomorrow for their games. So aside picking players, they we always want to have the option of good budget picks, players that will be of value to
Yes.
us. So let's go through budget picks from every position. I think you should
All
start off
right.
with the top position. What are you considering?
All right. First of all, if you watch the our last episode,
Yeah.
I emphasized greatly on Melie. You understand? Because in let me say 5 performances, in 5 matches, it's going to give you there's a 70% chance it's going to give you the same thing a premium goalkeeper is going to give you. Because if Leeds can accumulate let me say 3 clean sheets and he accumulates enough save points, he's going to give you the same points a goalkeeper is going to give you. And as at 4.5, I think that's a budget pick, you understand? And going forward to the season, towards the ending of last season when Leeds appointed Jesse Marsh, we saw how they became compacted in at their defense. So and they were now winning 1-0, sometimes goes 0-0. So I think I don't see that changing anytime soon. So I think they will still be Mele will still be a very very good budget pick at 4.5 is great. Then another one I like to emphasize on too is Raya at 4.5 to Brentford are this kind of let me say defensive attacking side. You understand me? So I don't although we know Brentford they conceive a lot, but their goalkeeper is always exposed to get save points. There might be a
Shots.
match lead. Yes, Brentford might lose a match without clean sheet 2-1, and their goalkeeper might still end up with 4 points because of the save points going to accumulate. And we know how good Raya is when it comes to save percentage. So I think at 4.5 to getting on an average, let's say 3 points per match is still something to
Yeah.
save some cash.
I
Yeah.
think, I think that's why is the goalkeeper at 4.5 that with the highest ownership. So it's quite
Yes.
understandable. So in defense, I would like to go through the defenders. We've seen the likes
All
of
right.
Neco Williams for Nottingham Forest, who has been awesome. Though he's on loan from Liverpool and he has been playing for the side. I think he played 3 friendlies altogether for
Yeah.
Nottingham Forest. So going forward, I feel even if he's priced at 4 million, he will be one good player to enable you fitting other players into your team, especially now that a lot of persons are having headaches over defenders and a lot of persons want to fit in premium defenders. So if you are looking forward to
Yeah.
having a good budget player to bench, Neco Williams may be your guy. Another player is Patterson for Everton. I think he's filling in for Coleman on right back position. And in the friendlies and preseason we've seen, he's also been involved in the attack. I think he's got 2 assists so far. And coming to that side and fitting to a player like Patterson could be a good pick. We've also seen when Lampard likes to play young players and bring them in and try to make them grow with the squad. So I feel Patterson will have a good run of the season. We've also had news that Coleman will not be available for 4 weeks. So if you are looking for that 4 million defender to enable your team, Patterson could be the man. So I asked to send midfielders you think are budget picks. There's obviously Neto, but you've highlighted Bailey and Jusby Hall. So walk us through the budget midfielders here.
Yeah, Bailey, I don't think this is something new because I think along with the Gabriel Jesus ownership, I think Bailey from what I'm thinking, Bailey should be high too. His ownership should be high because he's proven during the preseason he has performed well. He got 3 goals and 2 assists. If I can recall very very well. And he has been very very and he looks very explosive. Like he doesn't like look like the player like we saw from last season where he just play like 2 games and is having like giving the hamstring sign. So I think like this preseason he has been fresh. He's fresh. Like he looks ready for the season and has been delivering well. So I think like there's no like going without Bailey because we know how explosive he is, very fast. And the kind of player Aston Villa always like operate on like is this attack, attack, attack. They don't really like care much about their defensive aspect. They believe in scoring more goals. So and with Bailey in the squad, I think the chances are very high that he's going to be involved in their attack. So I think that's why I'm going with Bailey for now.
About
Then
Bailey, Steven Gerrard also highlighted in one of the press conferences that if he's fit, he's definitely going to play. So it's
yes,
not a bad option for 5 million, especially. It's saves some
yeah,
cash. Yeah. So you've also pointed out Jusby Hall. From what I've seen from Jusby Hall, he's been involved in terms of playmaking for Leicester. So I feel at 5.5 it's not a bad option, 5.5. But looking at how we will go on to the season, I feel it will be more appealing for us to pick Jusby Hall if Maddison moves to Newcastle full time. Or what do you think about it, Chris?
yeah. Personally, like even if Madison does not leave, I think this Hall is still the kind of player like you can just like risk him because of the low cost and you know he's going to get minutes. You understand me? So like if you observe, I think their last 2 matches, like in the preseason, there was Madison in the game and there was Jusby Hall in the game, and still Jusby Hall still like performed well. You understand? Even in their last match, Madison was the one who gave that assist to Jusby Hall before he scored the goal. So I think it does not matter whoever leaves the team. I think even both of them together in the team, I think it's still a good like option because Jusby Hall is not really like Madison is not really hindering Jusby Hall's like spot in the team.
Performance.
Yes, he's not hindering his performance in the team. This bro is like he's everywhere. He's just like that kind of all rounder player. You know, Madison, even if he's like threatened by Jusby Hall, he's always on set piece. So I think
Yeah.
that's like two different like sides to look for it. So I don't think 1 minute is going to affect the other. I think both are good to go.
Okay. So we've not had much sense of budget players in the striker position, but there's one I
Yeah.
particularly like of Unda for Brighton. He was signed as a new player from a foreign league, and I think in his league he scored 25 goals. I was very appealing. So coming into the league is somebody that may prove fitter, especially later in the season when Brighton seems to have clicked well. And at
Yeah.
5.5, it couldn't be a bad option to have in the bench also. So, so I feel Unda will be quite good. But you pointed out Marshall and Wilson as budget picks. So what do you think of Marshall particularly?
Yeah, Marshall, like last season he was at Sevilla on loan, so like he didn't really do much. So coming back to Man U now is like save your spot, if not you are gone. You understand me? Because Ten Hag, I don't think Ten Hag is going to like tolerate like too many like underperformances from his squad. So I think now this season is like okay, he's a new manager, so I'm coming like to give my all to be like the first on the manager team list. So that's what everybody is coming to do. And we know Marshall like how explosive he can be. He can finish. He's fast. Even if he's not scoring, he's giving the assist. So I think like going with Marshall now, let me say going with a new like Marshall who has his vision set on making his spot on the team. I think he's a very and as 7.5 at 7.0 is like a great pick. So I don't think like there is like I don't think there's any like form of like doubt in that. If you are looking for like a budget, like to save some money to spend elsewhere, Marshall should also be on your mind. We know Man U they play like this kind of offensive football. So I don't know if it's going to change, but I know they play this kind of offensive football. Like their attackers like are going to enjoy the game. So normally when the attack enjoys the game, their defense usually suffers. So I think Marshall is going to enjoy this season.
Talking about Manchester United anyway, I'm a Manchester United fan. So
Yeah, sure.
from what I've watched in preseason, what I see is like the attack is getting up quite well with Rashford, Martial, and Sancho in the right. So it's quite interesting, and we're looking forward to good things. So let's hope that going forward, Martial will be one of the best picks we'll have. Then about
Yeah.
Wilson, let's talk about Wilson. Though it's 7.5 million, but because of how expensive strikers are in the game, I feel it could offer some value at some point in the season. But nothing to indicate that to start off it will be very good because they have the likes of Wood there too. So it's something to watch out for, and Wilson could be fatal. So talking about strikers and all, there's one doubt that's always in our mind and has been there since Haaland came. So it's either Haaland or HURRI-KANE in terms of having a premium spot for a striker. So generally, what do you think of the whole Haaland versus Kane situation?
Yeah, according to the graphics on the screen now, like if I'm to go by their fixtures, because I think we have the 4 fixtures here, like game week
Yeah.
1 to game week 4. If I'm to go by fixtures, like I'll favor the HURRI-KANE. You understand? I'll favor HURRI-KANE. But if I'm to go by like ability and like ability, and I'll go with Haaland. You understand me? But one thing again was to notice here is like we know how as in prolific HURRI-KANE can be. And if you watch HURRI-KANE, like against Southampton, he has been great. I think he has averaged 9 points per game against Southampton throughout his
Yeah, right.
career. So I think like it's just like a number one contender for captaincy this week. So and
Yeah.
looking at the Chelsea fixture, they are this kind of game that HURRI-KANE like to thrive on because it's a London derby affair. Then going on to Wolves and Nottingham Forest are games that HURRI-KANE like normally on his days will always get points for us. But coming into like these City fixtures, number one, we know how West Ham like they are a bit compacted. But I don't know how it's going to be this season because of their performance during the preseason has not been like too encouraging for us. Then Bournemouth, Newcastle and Crystal Palace. Yeah, I like the way like the fantasy Premier League like they didn't give that Newcastle like a green like the difficulty. So they gave it
Yeah.
like ash color. That's to show you how like tough that game is going to be.
Yeah.
Obviously, no, we know Man City are going to like win the game, but it's going to be very difficult. And being difficult, we know there are other players, other go-to players that can do the job for City. So,
Yeah.
so if I'm to pick between the two, definitely I'm still sticking with HURRI-KANE because he's in the league. He has been in the league for a very long while. These like opponents are very familiar to him, so he knows more about the game. So I'll be sticking with HURRI-KANE. No change in there.
Yeah, premium has been difficult to fit in, especially with Salah in midfield. If not, the likes of Kevin De Bruyne was even more appealing to me. The major thing I
Yes.
want to point out about this Kane and Haaland situation is because some people have been saying they'll start with Kane and game week 2 they'll go to Haaland, which is not going to be as easy as they say it.
No.
Personally, I think that West Ham game is not going to indicate much good for Haaland. So I'm starting with Kane currently, but if you decide to go up with Haaland, it's pretty much 50-50 option for me. So yeah, it's basically picking your own risks. So the player you feel is going to do well this season, I would advise anybody to go through. But Kane is proven in the league and has had very good record against Southampton, as you said. So I'm starting off with him, and I'm quite sure he will do well. So we're talking about captaincy, and you're mentioning Kane as one of the top picks for captaincy this game week. So let's talk about captaincy. Who are you seriously considering to captain this game week?
Definitely, like the momentum swing now is with HURRI-KANE because they are playing at home in front of their fans. So I believe the stadium is going to be full for this
Yeah,
match. So and seeing his record versus Southampton is like a no-brainer that Kane is going to be my captain this week. And we know how good he has been during this preseason, like and how he has improved under Antonio Conte. So all the momentum swing now is with HURRI-KANE. But definitely there's Salah also there. But I feel if you like watch the Liverpool Man City for the Community Shield, you see Salah was highly involved in that game. But notwithstanding, Liverpool like they always start like not that good, but they still managed to get a win during their first game. I think for the past 2 seasons. But I think Salah also gets a part to play. But I believe HURRI-KANE is going to score higher than Mohamed Salah this game week.
okay, cool. Just before we go on to talk about our team, I appreciate everybody for tuning into this episode. We'll advise you like, subscribe, and put on the notification bell as more FPL scoop episodes will be coming all through the season. Do well to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Footywit. You could follow me on Twitter at FPL, and you can follow Sunday on Twitter at FPL Roaster, FPL_Roaster. So good. Now let's go on to share our team. I think Michael should go first. Let's see your team and how it looks.
All right. Yeah. So like normally, like we talked about like Melie and we talked about budget picks. So currently now you could see like Ederson is on my bench. You understand? Then Melie is starting. Then that's going to change definitely. But I'll be starting with Ederson. But one thing I did there was like I compared their fixture. So when like the fixture is like looking difficult for Ederson, the fixture for Melie is like okay and good to go. Yeah, so that's why I just went with that like combination there. Then I started Perisic is still in my team because I believe Antonio Conte knows how to work with his wing backs, and Perisic too has like played under Antonio Conte. So and that's like gel is there. So he knows what the manager wants, and the manager knows what he's capable of. So I have Cancelo there. Is like obviously there's nothing like to like emphasize on here because we know how Cancelo is very very crucial to FPL. Then we have Alexander Arnold too there. The same thing. He's very crucial in your team. Like he's going to be like in almost everyone's teams. Then Robertson here. I went with Robertson instead of Diaz. Why? Because I have Salah. So I feel like even if Diaz is going to get something, Salah is going to like give me what Diaz will give me. Even if he can't give me everything, he's going to like give me like if I should like Salah is going to be in my team for a very long time. It's a long term plan. So I feel looking like something like that, I feel Salah like I favor Salah there because going through the long term, if I accumulate Salah's points and accumulate Diaz's points, I think Salah's point is going to be like almost times 2 of the Diaz point, and coupled with Robertson points, clean sheet is there. Like he has the tendency of getting assist, so I think that's going to be massive. So I've gone with Robertson instead of Diaz there. Then going forward, I went with Bailey. So we know, like we've talked about this earlier, he's looked good and he looks like he's going to play. No injury concerns for now, and he's looking sharp, explosive and all. The Neto, he has been looking like very, very explosive too, and he's great. Then we saw with Martinelli. So like why I went with Martinelli, I would have gone with Saka, but same thing. Like the values have gone up, so I have to look for a way to reduce the cost. And Martinelli is not like a bad option there because he's look good. If you watch their preseason, you see those guys, they are direct. They are trying to like feed Gabriel Jesus for the goal. So I think Martinelli is going to be a great pick. Like there was even, and his confidence level is very high because I watched their last preseason match where he got a ball from like the counter attack, he took it and he looked and he passed the ball purposefully. So I think that happiness, like the cooperation is there within them. So I think Martinelli is going to like improve this season and going to give us what we want for a very low price. Then Salah, obviously, we call him the king of FPL. So there's no like, he just have to be in your team. Then HURRI-KANE, I'm favoring HURRI-KANE because like he's a very good captaincy pick for the week. So I think the combination of HURRI-KANE and Salah is going to be like it's supposed to give you like, let me say, almost 30% of your points this game week. So, and coupled with Gabriel Jesus, if you add them together, the combination is supposed to give you like, let me say, 60% of like all your accumulated points there. Bench there, I have Nico Williams, I have Andres Pereira, and I have Taylor from Nottingham Forest. Nico Williams is just like, we know he's going to get the minutes, he's going to play. And at 4.0, it could be like, okay, for the long term, like let me say, okay, some like for example, one of my players pick any injury, like I can easily switch because he's not like too expensive. Like I can just take him out, then look for a way to like take a premium out and like replace. So he's there and he's going to get the min. I can still decide to stick with him when the fixture like is on their favor. So I believe I'll get something from him. Then Pereira, we know he's like going to prove. He's coming out to prove something. Then with Taylor, I believe this Taylor is like one of the most underlooked players like in the FPL community because I believe he's going to do well. He did quite well in the championship, so I don't really see him not doing well in the Premier League if he gets like the minutes. But the minutes is a concern. But in a nutshell, everything is just for the price like cost. We're looking for the cost.
Yeah, cool. Let me just go over to before I go over to my team, about your team. The only issue I would like to ask you about is if with that setup now and with less players in your bench, if there's any chance that Nottingham Forest starts doing well in the season, is there any opportunity that you're going to? Is there any chance or any game you feel like you play Neco Williams for Nottingham Forest? Maybe they are having one easy fixtures, or if they have been performing this season, they are playing Leeds. Do you feel you'll be confident enough to play Neco Williams?
Yeah, with the way my team is set up, like is built for like the first 5 game weeks. No, as in, I can decide to leave my team for the first, like, let me say 3 game weeks at most, or at least, you understand. But
Yeah.
Nico Williams, like, I don't feel like there's anybody there that he can, like, fixture wise and performance wise, that he can drop, you understand. But
Yeah.
notwithstanding, if there is like a good fixture that, and according to his performance for the first game week, that's if he does well and Nottingham Forest looked very good, I can give him a great shout, because at 4.0 is like going to be a very, very big differential. Even though he's like mostly owned by, I believe some people will still go without him. They might still drop him on the bench. So putting him in your team can be a very good, like, differential for you
Yeah.
if he does well.
Cool. So let me just go over to my team. I think we started with almost the same option in terms of goalkeeper. I have Melly in goal. Then I have back for Trent, Robertson, Cancelo, and Cash. I wouldn't overstress why I have Trent and Cancelo, but I have Robertson chosen over for my third Liverpool position because I feel he's going to be attacking, highly attacking. And Liverpool has the tendency to keep clean sheets. So you've got clean sheet points, and you like to get some attacking returns also. So then Cash. Cash is I really, there was a conflict within my mind of having Cash and Dino, but that's Aston Villa defense. Why? Because the Aston Villa defense has proven to be very good over preseason. I think they kept 3 clean sheets out of all the games in the season, and they didn't even lose any game. They only drew against Manchester United, and I was opportunity to watch the Manchester United game. They were kind of holding up in the back quite well. So I feel for the first 3 fixtures, I could give an Aston Villa defender a shout. So then I have Bailey just because of obvious reasons. We've gone through him. Then Salah likes to make out in this game week. Despite the old talks of how Gabriel Jesus may score higher than him, King will score higher than him, I feel Salah gives me that kind of guarantee. I like to start the season off as boring as possible. Not really. I don't like to take those early weeks in the season because a lot of things could burn you and make you go through a lot of high surgery just to get back to your team and get back to the level that other players are. So I have Maddison there, and Maddison is another doubt for me because of the rumors that he will go to Newcastle. If that transfer goes through, I don't think Maddison will be appealing to me. I may decide to go off with another 8 million midfielder, either Saka or, though I don't like the idea of tripling up on the Arsenal attack, but I could go with either Saka or Mount. Then there's Martinelli, for obvious reasons you've said, highly attacking. I feel he will get involved a lot in the game, and he could also provide some assists. Then talking about Arsenal, Gabriel Jesus got over 73% ownership. I can't even overstress it. Anybody going into the game week 1 without Gabriel Jesus, and if Gabriel Jesus scores well tomorrow, he's going to be burned heavily. So just for effective ownership's sake, I feel I can't go without Gabriel Jesus. But it's done quite well, and I wouldn't blame anybody for picking him. So HURRI-KANE, because of Southampton fixtures, you said earlier on, he likes Southampton fixture and has gotten lots of returns in the past in their fixture. So having him at home is even an added advantage. So in my goalkeeper position, in my bench, I have Ward, I have Pereira, Patterson, and Asher. These are basically just for budget picks and could come in for any player if they don't play. So Ward, basically, I like the look of him because he sticks to be the new Leicester goalkeeper because Schmeichel has left to the French side. So I wouldn't mind having Ward there to cover up, or in case there's any difficult fixture. I think game week 3 rotates quite well with Melly, so it's not a bad option also. So Andres Pereira, I like the look of him because he's been integrated into the side over the season. Sometimes, at some point in the season, I feel Pereira is going to be worth the value. And then Patterson we've talked about earlier. And then Asher in bench. So these are good bench players I feel I can have going forward. So now that we've gone through our team, just before we end, I would like to give a shout out to AMGCs who is sponsoring our league this season. Just in case you haven't applied for our league, the entry is on our Instagram handle at Footywit. Go on to Footywit and search for this graphic that is showing here. Go through the processes to follow and register for the league, and you'll get an email just before the season starts tomorrow. Just from now till tomorrow starts is when we're taking entry. Entry ends as from the deadline of FPL. So that's it for our team. Just before we go on to note, I do FPL content on YouTube for my channel, I Sabi FPL. So if you give me a watch sometime, I give my general opinion on whatever I think. And also follow us on our Twitter handles, Footywit, Sabi FPL, and FPL Roaster on Twitter. So thank you for tuning in. It's been a joy to have you all. So, and we hope to have that you all have best season going forward. So, ciao. Mike can say ciao to everybody, and we'll see you in the next one. All right.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me. Remember what you do. Always aim for that 100 points in your first game week to give you that confidence going forward. So I think that's what we are aiming for now currently. So hi, bye.
Thank you very much.